Chair now recognizes Ms. Luna from Florida.
What you're about to see is a tense moment during a congressional hearing where Representative Anna Paulina Luna raises serious allegations tied to fraud in Minnesota's social service programs. The exchange quickly escalates as she pushes witnesses on what state officials knew and when they knew it. At the center of the questioning are claims involving Governor Tim Walz and the state attorney general. The discussion touches on federal fraud statutes, accountability in government programs, and whether criminal referrals could follow from the investigation.
Thank you, Chairman Comer. Before I get to the questioning of some of our witnesses today, and thank you again for being here, I would like to make a motion to subpoena journalist Seth Harp for leaking classified information, including doxing a Delta Force commander on Operation Absolute Resolve, which liberated the Venezuelan people and brought a terrorist dictator to the United States to face justice for his crimes against American citizens.
A motion has been made. Another motion by Ms. Luna. The committee will hold this motion in abeyance till the end of today's hearing. The committee will now proceed. Chair recognizes.
Thank you, Chairman Comer.
I make a motion to request this in writing.
Hold on. There's been a parliamentary inquiry.
Yeah, parliamentary inquiry. We'd like to request this in writing.
Okay.
I can submit that. If I can just right after this, I'll totally submit that to you guys, because I have some other motions that we're voting on at the end. This is a great motion in writing. We want everyone on record for this one. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Ms. Luna.
Thank you, Chairman Comer. Honorable Robbins, based on your record before your committee, when did Governor Walz first become aware of widespread fraud in Minnesota social service programs?
I would assume that he has been aware of it since he ran for office for governor in 2018.
By 2017, DHS investigators warned CCAP fraud could exceed 50%. What was that information elevated to the governor's office?
Yes, there was an OLA report.
Thank you, ma'am. By 2020, state officials knew feeding our future invoices were fraudulent. We know that payments continued to the AG's knowledge. Did they continue to the governor's knowledge as well?
Yes.
And this is where the exchange starts to shift. Representative Luna is now laying out a timeline, pressing the witness about when state leadership allegedly became aware of the fraud. The key question here revolves around responsibility, whether officials simply failed to stop the fraud or whether they knowingly allowed it to continue. In congressional hearings, establishing that timeline can become central to determining accountability.
Attorney General Ellison agreed on tape to fight Minnesota's own Department of Human and Health Services in exchange for Somali political and financial support. In your personal opinion, do you believe it is a possibility that Governor Walz also made that personal deal, or that he at least knew about the Attorney General's agreement?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't want to rehash what you guys have spent hours answering. We know that there's a big issue with the fraud in Minnesota. So on a number of things, I'd first like to point out, thank you for being here today, but because of your testimony and because of some of the evidence that we've seen brought forward, as well as I'm sure the fact that this committee, I assume, at Chairman Comer's direction, will be soon subpoenaing AG Ellison, I would like to make criminal referrals regarding Governor Walz as well as AG Ellison. As you know, U.S. Code 371 and U.S. Code 2, which deals with criminalized conspiracies to defraud the United States and establishes liability for individuals who knowingly aid or abet the commission of federal offense, includes willful blindness or deliberate inaction where duties to act exist. So I will be referring them later on today. Now, aside from that, I do just want to point out that there is a statute that you can denaturalize citizens if their applications were fraudulent, and also too if within 10 years of their naturalization that they committed fraud in the U.S. And so I take this very seriously, and it's very unfortunate that these people chose to do this, because being an American citizen is not a right, it's a privilege, especially if you were not born here. And so with that idea in mind, I would like to say that these criminals took advantage of the very country that gave them refuge. They do not deserve the privilege of remaining here, and frankly, they don't deserve to even be imprisoned here, which is why, as the chairwoman of the El Salvador caucus, I work very strongly with President Bukele, and we also know that CCOT has proven to be a great facility to house people that are denaturalized and deemed not worthy of U.S. citizenship, and I will be making referrals for those individuals if they are found guilty. Thank you for being here today.
Moments like this highlight how congressional hearings often move beyond simple questioning and into major political allegations. Representative Luna's remarks escalate the discussion by calling for potential criminal referrals and raising broader issues about fraud, oversight, and government accountability. Whether those claims lead to further investigations will likely depend on what evidence the committee ultimately uncovers. But exchanges like this show just how intense oversight hearings can become. What do you think about this confrontation and the allegations raised during the hearing? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.